Washington's response to the escalating violence and growing political tension in Egypt has largely been silence. While Turkey slammed the Egyptian military's ouster of President Mohamed Morsi, and the African Union suspended Egypt's membership as interim Egyptian leader Adli Mansour was sworn in, Washington remained quiet. Analysts believe President Barack Obama does not want to criticize the Egyptian military's response because it sends Egypt $1.5 billion in annual aid, and Egypt is a safeguard against weapons spreading into the Gaza Strip and Eastern Africa. But U.S. Republicans haven't been so quiet, suggesting that U.S. aid to Egypt should be immediately cut off.
We have to suspend aid to the Egyptian military because the Egyptian military has overturned the vote of the people of Egypt. And we cannot set a precedent which frankly let me put it this way, we cannot repeat the same mistakes that we made at other times in our history by supporting the removal of freely elected governments. And so I believe that the aid has to be suspended, that the Egyptian military has to set a timetable for elections and a new constitution, and then we should evaluate whether to continue the aid or not.
Massive protests that spurred the military to step in last Wednesday were rooted in opposition that had lost elections to Islamists. Their ranks were swelled by anger directed towards Morsi over broken promises on the economy, shrinking incomes, and increasing Islamification of the country.
This was a situation in which the vast majority of Egyptians took to the streets. 22 million petitions were filled in, and all they asked for was early elections. They didn't ask for the military to take over. They asked for early elections. Now, President Morsi and his supporters, what they did is they mobilized, they stirred people's feelings up, and basically they encouraged their supporters to face the other demonstrators. So there was no option for the military and for the rest of Egyptian society but to intervene before terrible clashes and escalation would run out of control.
The military has maintained a visible presence across Egypt since Morsi's ouster, but in clashes between anti- and pro-Morsi forces, dozens of people have been killed. Some Egyptians are worried that the army will rule with an iron fist, but Egypt's ambassador to the U.S. says that won't be the case.
No arbitrary measures will be taken against anyone in Egypt. What we're trying to do in Egypt is correct our path. What our objective is full and complete democracy. We want respect for human rights. If somebody breaks the law, they will be dealt with in due process.
Interim President Adli Mansour has promised to hold elections soon, but there is no timeline in place for new presidential and parliamentary votes, and army rule looks set to continue for the near future.